So, you want to start journaling? Well, I'm very happy you clicked on this video. If you've watched any of my videos, you see and hear me talk about journaling all the time, and I've gotten messages from people that are like, they started journaling too, and they even started doing yoga meditation, and they're feeling better, and they like it, and I'm so happy because that's literally all I want with this channel. But I still do get a lot of questions from people that are confused or don't really know how to start journaling or why I do it so often, so that's what I'm here to talk about today. I'm going to hopefully be answering all the common questions I get about journaling and pretty much how you can get started and why I think it is the best habit that you can do for yourself. So I will have all the major topics and questions I discuss time-stamped down below if you want to use that as like a reference. And I also have an entire blog post that I wrote about journaling. It's like Journaling 101, how to get started, journaling for beginners. And I mean, I did write the blog post, so I'm gonna say it's good, but it is a good like beginner's guide to journaling. If you want to check that out, I will have that blog post linked below. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I want to start this video with is to tell you to let go of all expectations you have about journaling. There are no rules, guidelines, expectations on how to specifically journal. I mean, I'm going to be giving you tips, but you need to let go of all these expectations because journaling is literally just writing stuff down on a piece of paper, and that paper happens to be in the form of a book. That is it. It is just writing down your thoughts. It's not much deeper than that. I mean, it can get deeper, but it's really not. So let go of all these expectations that you have that has to be deep or meaningful, or you have to do it every day, that it has to look aesthetic, or that you come to some major life revelations. Like, none of that is necessary. Journaling, how I see it, is just a way of getting our thoughts, which are intangible, just kind of conceptual things. I mean, they're there and they're real, but they're also not really. Getting those thoughts out into a physical form for you to kind of see it from a different point of view instead of always just having them in your head, because if you're anything like me, you have a million thoughts per second. Like, it's very hard to focus on one or work through something, and even if you do kind of focus on one, there's still a million other things in the background. So writing them out and getting them into a 3D physical form helps you focus your attention on it and observe it. See them from kind of like a third person point of view instead of always just being in them in the moment. That's just kind of my personal explanation of journaling. So yeah, let go of all the expectations you have and simply just start writing. All you need is a journal and a writing utensil. That's it. I mean, I do recommend that you get something that you find maybe aesthetically pleasing that will motivate you to write in, but you could even write on scraps of paper. Like, it really doesn't matter. Okay, now that we've let go of all expectation, cleared the air, and you're ready to start writing, what do you write about? You can probably expect what I'm gonna say, but write about anything. Again, does not have to be deep or meaningful. You do not have to discover some revolutionary idea. You could literally describe in detail for 3 pages about the most amazing sandwich you just ate. If that's what's on your mind, write about it. But to guide you a little bit more, I will tell you some things that I like to write about. The main thing I do is just like stream of consciousness writing, just kind of brain dumping my thoughts onto the page, starting with one thought that maybe is just kind of really on my mind, writing it out and seeing where it takes me. I could maybe talk about a certain subject for 3 pages, or I could talk about 10 different subjects in 3 pages. Like, I just see where my mind takes me. Again, I'm not expecting to get anything out of this. I'm just getting my thoughts out onto the piece of paper, and if I do learn something or recognize something or have a revelation, then that's awesome. But it's just really about clearing up my mind space and literally brain dumping onto the page. Other times I'll just write about my day, like a diary entry kind of, especially if there was a particularly good day and I want to remember it. I'll just write about all the good things that happened to me that day. Like, I hung out with my friends, we had a really good time, we went out and got Starbucks, I felt so good and happy. Kind of like memory keeping. I write a lot of lists in my journal, especially too if I find that I have a lot of thoughts, it's just easier to like list them out. Literally a list about anything. Sometimes I'll write about like the things I'm loving recently, the things that I'm not liking, my favorite music artists that I recently discovered. I like lists. They're just easy to do and get a lot of information out. Gratitude lists though, and just gratitude in general, is a huge part of my journaling. Probably like a third of my journal is just filled with gratitude lists, which I could do a whole separate video about gratitude, but gratitude is just so important in like the self-help lifestyle, self-discovery, personal development, because it is the foundation of all of that. Pretty much when you express gratitude, the universe hears that and then gives you more things to be grateful for, because they're like, oh, they like what they already have? That's awesome. Let's give them some more. Again, that is like a whole separate topic, but a lot of the time I'm journaling about things I'm grateful for. And then again, sometimes I'm just writing absolute nonsense. Like, if someone picked it up and read it, it would not make any sense, but it's just something that's on my mind, so therefore I'm gonna write about it. Again, there are no expectations. It does not have to be deep or meaningful, but a lot of the time, just through stream of conscious writing, you do learn deep and meaningful things about yourself. That is why I love journaling so much, because in the moment you might have like a revelation, but even in like a few months time, you go back and read it and you realize, oh my gosh, I have learned so much since that specific thought or belief I had. Okay, so that is kind of like what I journal about. Now, how often do I journal? When do I journal? Do I do it every day? How do you keep up with a journaling practice? Again, there are no rules. You do not have to journal every day. I do not journal every day. I mean, I do it a lot. I do it maybe like every other to every couple of days, but you do not have to journal every day, which I know is a big mental block for a lot of people because they feel like in order for it to be effective or whatever, they have to do it every day. If that doesn't work with your lifestyle, then you don't have to. Before I really made it a habit, I was only journaling like once or twice a month. Like, it's crazy. But once you start doing it more and realizing what you learned from it or how you feel from it, then I promise you, you're probably going to pick up the practice more to a more weekly, daily basis. And I get this question a lot where a lot of people are concerned that someone's going to read their journal. Like, what if someone reads it? Which is definitely a very valid concern, and I feel like I can't speak on that too personally because I don't really fear that someone's going to read my journal. I mean, I keep it with me in my room. No one really comes to my room. None of my family members do. But the best advice I can give if you're in that situation is just to first off not tell anyone that you have a journal, therefore they don't know to look for it. Keep it in a safe space that is near you. If you carry around a backpack or something that no one really goes in, and keep it in your backpack. Just always keep it on you, or put it in some sort of drawer or something that no one's really gonna look into. Whatever you do, I just want you to not fear writing what's really on your mind or like holding back anything because you think someone's gonna read it, because hopefully no one ever will. You're only ever writing for yourself, and again, there's no expectations for it to be deep or meaningful, because on the flip side, some people open up their journal and are like, all right, I have to write something meaningful in case someone finds it and I want them to think I'm smart or revolutionary or whatever. That's not the case either. It's just for you. But if you feel like you can't have like a physical book in fear of someone's gonna find it, just journal in your notes app on your phone, in your laptop. Put the little documents in some obscure folder that no one's gonna look into. It doesn't really matter how you do it. Again, it's just the process of getting your thoughts out and having a space to like look at them in a different point of view. If you still find yourself stuck on what to write, which sometimes happens to me, I like know I want to journal or maybe have too many thoughts that I can't pick one what to write about, I simply just go to Google or Pinterest and type up journaling prompts, and there are so many things that are given to you to write about. Just like questions to answer or scenarios. They can be funny, they can be silly, they can be lighthearted, or they can even get deeper than that and might ask you a question that you might have been too afraid to ask yourself or may not have thought to ask yourself. Pinterest is my best friend. I just go and type up journaling prompts, and you can even add on to that like journaling prompts for anxiety, journaling prompts for personal development. Possibilities are endless. A question I frequently got into is, do I go back and read my entries? Yes, but I don't write with the goal to like go back and read my journals. I mean, I know I will eventually because they're journals, so they're interesting to read. For example, I just finished this entire journal. This is like 3 months of journaling right here. I mean, I could go back and read it since I finished it, but I don't really feel like reading it right now. So I do go back and read them, and I've read some of like my older ones, which are just like very interesting to read. Again, I'm never writing in the moment with the expectation to go back and read it. I'm writing just to process that particular thought in that particular moment. But the thing with journaling is when you do want to go back and read them, you have literally just yourself embodied in a physical form, which is why I love journaling so much. Because like I said, I've gone back and read some of my older things, and it's crazy how much my mindset and even my tone of voice when I'm writing has changed. They're just like invaluable. It is insane. And finally, I wanted to talk about kind of a specific form of journaling called shadow work. You may or may not have heard of this term, and it might sound a little bit scary, but shadow work is just about exploring the shadow parts of yourself, or maybe like the not so nice parts of yourself. I talked a lot about journaling about the happy things in my life, gratitude lists, and recounting really good days I had and just things that I'm liking, which I do a lot, but also a lot of my journaling is diving into deeper, more not so peachy sides of myself, which yes, again, might be hard to start because we don't really like to confront the negative parts of ourselves. Your journal is your safe space. Again, it is just for you, and it allows you to explore maybe these negative beliefs that are in the back of your head in a more physical sense, and you learn some shit about yourself. So don't fear, you don't have to do this. You probably were already doing this if you ever journaled about having a bad day or a negative feeling. That is technically shadow work. It's just a term that embodies it. Only start this if you're in the right headspace and you want to go in and explore those negative things. I mean, it does get hard because like I said, we don't want to admit that we're not perfect people. Like that has been something I learned through shadow work, that I have this need for perfectionism and control. Again, it's not something bad. We're human. We have negative beliefs, but shadow work and journaling about them helps you learn about them and work through them. And that has been the most life-changing thing I got out of journaling, is just being able to process all of these negative beliefs that I didn't even know I had sometimes. If I'm just stream of conscious writing, I realize a negative thing that comes forward and I just kind of discuss it to myself, and I uncover things about myself, and it's just about self-growth. Growth comes from getting uncomfortable. So yes, this might be an uncomfortable practice because you have to be really, really honest with yourself, which is very hard, but through shadow work, I've learned to very easily tune into my emotions and recognize things that are negative and no longer serving me, and then I can write about them and let go of them. If you need more guidance for shadow work, again, just go to Pinterest and type up shadow work prompts, and there are endless questions that you can ask yourself. Okay, so I know I just talked for a long time. My camera battery is actually dying, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you are still listening, thank you. I really hope you got something out of this. I hope this was helpful and cleared things up for you. If you haven't already started a journaling practice, I obviously encourage that you do, and again, just release all expectations expectations and just write what is on your mind. Just the act of writing and getting those thoughts out, no matter how random they are, will lead you to learning something. Remember, everything will be timestamped down below if you want to go back and go to a certain question or topic, and I do have that blog post about journaling, and I probably will write more blog posts about journaling, maybe even write my own prompts to give to you. So make sure you subscribe to my email list on my blog, but otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and make sure that you stay tuned until my next video. Peace.